In this video, we're going to talk about linear pairs, and the vocabulary that we'll refer to in this quick video will be linear pairs, supplementary, 180 degrees, and 360 degrees. We need to know that a full turn all the way around a complete circle is 360 degrees. So if we start here and rotate fully all the way around and then finish back where we started, that will be a total of 360 degrees. So if we know that all the way around the circle is 360 degrees, if we draw a line through the center of the circle, then going halfway around the circle from here to here is half of 360 degrees. So that means that this amount is 180 degrees. And then around the bottom side is also 180 degrees. And that should make sense because 180 plus 180 equals 360. Now, this 180 degrees can be thought of as the amount of degrees above a line, but we can also turn the line and we still have 180 degrees. So this is still 180 degrees, even though the line is now diagonal on your screen. What we could then do is we can take the total of 180 degrees and we can break it up into angles. So if I have my protractor placed correctly, and I place my center right here, if I break this 180 degrees up into two separate angles, so now I have one angle here and the other angle here, then I can think about how much is this amount in degrees, how much rotation, and how much is this amount. My protractor tells me that right here is 50 degrees and 130 degrees, meaning that this amount is the 50, and this amount is the 130. And this should make some sense because if I add these two together, I get the total 180 degrees. I'm going to erase the arc. So two angles like this are known as linear pairs. So linear pairs are angles that are next to each other on the same side of a line where they take up the whole line. So all of the rotation from the line, all 180 degrees, is taken up by the two angles that are there. Those are linear pairs. So one example of linear pairs are a 50-degree angle and a 130-degree angle that are next to each other. Here's another example of two angles that are linear pairs. I rotated this line segment up like this. And now you see I'm at 90. So this means that on both sides, each angle is 90 degrees. And that should look like a 90-degree angle and another 90-degree angle. So a 90-degree angle and a 90-degree angle take up the total 180 degrees. So those angles next to each other are linear pairs. So here I have the straight line segment, and I know that this angle is 120 degrees. I just measured it. So how can you figure out how much this missing angle is? It's next to each other. It's two angles next to each other, taking up all 180 degrees of a straight line. So I can find this by subtracting from the total 180. 180 minus 120 is 60. So is this 60 degrees? Well, if we put the protractor there, we can see that the protractor reads 120 and 60. So we did it correctly. The obtuse angle, the one that is greater than 90 degrees, is 120. And when I subtracted 180 minus 120, I got the other angle, the acute angle, which is less than 90, the 60-degree angle. Those are linear pairs because they are next to each other and they have a total of 180 degrees. The final thing that needs to be emphasized is that linear pairs are always supplementary, because the word supplementary in geometry means that we have angles that add to a total of 180 degrees. So here we see 120 plus 60. Before we saw 90 plus 90. Before we saw 50 and 130. Those are three examples of angles that together are supplementary, because when you add them, you get a total of 180 degrees. So all linear pairs are supplementary.